Hey guys, this is Mauisnake here bringing you another pro player analysis, and today I'm going to be going over a very popular Australian in-game leader, DickStacy, the leader of Grayhound. He is 21 years old and in the past 12 months had a 1.09 rating. Pretty much everyone on his team had a better rating from him in the previous year. However, that is likely due to him playing as the in-game leader. There are a few fragging in-game leaders on the scene, but DickStacy, not really one of them, I would say. Pretty good for his level, pretty much can hold his own among the Australian competition, but we'll see how he fares against international competition in just a few days, in fact. So I hope you guys are as excited for the upcoming major as I am, as not only are we all going to be watching it, seeing how the players perform, but it's going to give me some more content. So I always love to see that. So pistol round starts out, and it's just going to be him against CyberZen on Overpass. This was during the group stage of the Asia Minor, and was the first game in the BO3 that Grayhound took away from CyberZen. They went to the full distance here, and Grayhound was able to move forward in the upper bracket. So, pistol round starts. He's just moving through a connector with his teammates. All four of them left here are going to be swarming the bomb site. And DickStacy, something I can say about him is that I'm pretty sure this guy has a really low sensitivity. I watched this earlier, and I don't think I saw him hit a single flick shot the entire time. His crosshair movements are really smooth and careful. So, him and his team push from connector. They get positioning on the A bomb site. CyberZen was more stuck around Fountain and Party long A. So this is kind of a weird retake, and Grayhound, they knew that the potential for CyberZen players was there, so that's why they pushed into CT on this round. And DickStacy knows all he has to do is just play the bomb at this point. Really no escape for him at this point, so he just decides to die with the bomb. So that's 1-0 for them. DickStacy not really doing all too much there, just kind of getting a single assist as they pushed that player in the heaven position. And they're going to make their way now towards B. We're going to see most of the time that DickStacy likes to, on B plays, holds outside monster, and on A plays, just kind of goes with the group. Occasionally, I think the only time we've seen him really go connector was on the pistol round. So throws an early nade towards monster there. Just shoots a couple shots off. And notice that he buys the ump and just a good amount of utility. Very typical IGL kind of stuff. Values grenades more than weaponry. We can see that Urcast. Is that his name? Yeah. Urcast went with the AK, and that's going to be the only rifle, though, on the side of Grayhound. They actually, most of them do buy quite a few nades. And this is kind of embarrassing, actually. Because the opponent spray painted that bathroom sign, it kind of messes DickStacy up, and he misses a smoke grenade there towards CT. Kind of unfortunate, and a good play from the CyberZen players. Hopefully that's not the Grayhound guys that did that. But by spray painting this area actually on the bathroom, he couldn't line up his smoke the normal way he does, and so he misses it entirely. So we're not going to see him attempt that one again. So he plants the bomb and continues to stay on the bomb site. We can see how they're set up now in this late round situation. Malta gets aggressive towards Bank. Dexter and Sterling want to get in on the action as well. DickStacy was on the site for a long time. Urcast was in the back holding the line, as the rifle kind of should, just kind of be in the clutch situation if it gets down to it. But now they're just going to kind of go for a little bit of hunting. DickStacy doesn't get too aggressive, as he knows that they need to keep at least 3 or more players alive if they want to keep their money in check. So he values his life quite a bit there. So another round. Okay, we do actually see him go down connector. It's kind of a silent move. I don't know why Grayhound just don't drop down. Instead, they go for the long walk down the ladder. I actually think that's pretty much completely pointless. If you land on the pallet and strafe off of it, you'll be there early enough that the CT shouldn't be able to hear you. But I guess with 3 people there, they think that maybe if the first two go down silently and then the third guy, or the first two guys get down as they should be able to without making noise, the third guy shouldn't make noise. But I don't know why all three of them decide they don't want to make noise. So they're just holding for pretty much an A play here. And DickStacy doesn't want to make the same mistake as he did in the previous round and lets Dexter go for his own lineup there. That's kind of to preserve DickStacy's ego there. He doesn't want to, I don't think he wants to mess up his smoke once again. So let's Dexter do it. So bomb planted once again. He should be able to hear these players coming up. And decides to move towards truck, which is kind of interesting. I think he flubs a smoke grenade there as he was trying to get that one towards CT. And now plays close to CT. So I'm not just picking, by the way, I'm not just picking a game to try to like push down or like, I don't know, to shit on DickStacy at all or anything of the sort. I actually picked the game that he had the highest rating in of every game at the Asia Minor. This is the only game he had above, I think, 80 ADR for the entire minor. Most games he usually averages around 60 to 70 ADR. But as the in-game leader, it's not like usually you're supposed to get a lot of frags, although it does limit the ceiling of your team a lot if one of the players is kind of a fragging liability, as I feel like DickStacy might be in other games. So there was a little bit of early utility to push back the CTs at A. Now just plays around the playground area. Still has the ump, as we can see. Malta, him, and Dexter all have ump still. This is the first gun round for CyberZen, and Grayhound, they want to keep their money in check. They want to play this game with the SMGs still. I'm not sure how I feel, though, about SMGs taking long control right now. You can see that DickStacy and Sterling are taking this position together, and kind of a simple walk peek to clear that out. What we're seeing from them is some fairly standard just A control. This is a really weird smoke for DickStacy. I'm not sure why he likes to leave this gap on the side, because he does this a couple times, and it seems like he has a pretty specific lineup for his long A lurk smoke. So this is kind of half sight exec comes out. They take over the bank position, and DickStacy has the bomb right here. He really gets aggressive, and it's a little scary to have that bomb in that kind of situation, but he's able to get it down. Thankfully, there's no one in bank to fight him. And so him and Sterling are going to be holding the position now. He swings towards CT, gets the kill on TB. That's actually a pretty big kill. And drops his ump, which still had quite a few bullets in it, to pick up this M4. Gives a nice jiggle to Viva. That's really nice. If he dies there, it could be a completely different round. And because he stays alive, he's able to get the kill onto Savage. And he gets the final win onto Viva. So actually pretty good movement from DickStacy right there. First round where he has any real fragging impact for his team. And he's able to recover an M4, and the kind of free buy round for Grayhound works out. So now we're going to see DickStacy replicate his B-side play for the team. Usually he's letting a couple of his other players, Dexter and Malta, make their way towards short right now, and they're going to be the entries on this when the flash comes out. DickStacy is there to Molotov the barrel position as his teammates come up short. Gets a nice headshot onto HZ, and that's going to be it for the round. DickStacy plays a pretty nice, let's just talk about this really quick. This is a great post-plant position right here from DickStacy. This pit right here, usually a very solid one, but given that CyberZen had only a single player alive, not really of too much consequence that he does play in what is a pretty strong spot. So, again, throws the conditioning utility towards A. They don't want to let the Opper from CyberZen go for any aggressive plays. And throws a deep flash for himself to move forward with. Savage actually caught a glimpse of DickStacy's forehead there, and he doesn't hit the shot, so that's kind of lucky from DickStacy. DickStacy taking a really strange angle here. He was just shot out by an op, but decides to kind of hold for that push. I would say that if he's actually holding for the push, the thing is he has a teammate on his head, so he's fine. But if he's really holding for a re-peek from the op, he should probably be holding a slightly lower crosshair placement, given that if the op's going to re-peek you, they're going to do a crouch peek. They're not just going to walk. People don't walk peek very much with ops, even though it's a pretty powerful way to peek with an op. So probably should just have his crosshair a little bit lower. But they're going to use this lurk smoke to move up. Once again, though, it has the gap on the side of it. And now he's waiting to explode with his teammates. His teammate Malta is surrounded by quite a few CTs right now. It's really a pretty difficult situation. And the nades come out. They're able to smoke off part of the site once again. And he's getting shot in the back. Doesn't react to the shot behind him. Savage almost gets the multi-kill there through Dick's teammate. And CyberZen keep missing this monster smoke. It's kind of perplexing to me that, let's skip through this. It's kind of perplexing to me that some of these teams at the Asia Minor don't really have their nades lined up and set. I feel like DickStacy missed already a couple of smoke grenades, and so did CyberZen. Just goes to show that really not all the regions are created equal, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that they are, or anything, or even that every team that comes from minors is of equal strength. But I think Asia has some catching up to do in terms of their utility work and just game planning. So, Grayhound, though, do have a good way to get this control towards A. Nice little boost from DickStacy and Sterling, enabling his Opper. You can see that he is, in fact, a pretty solid support player, and he really likes to enable his teammates. He tries to throw flashes for them a lot of the time, likes to throw smokes for them, and consistently just tries to make the right play. He doesn't really go for anything this game that feels out of the ordinary. He's not an IGL that kind of is eventually fed up with getting low stats and wants to just kind of fall out of that in order to, or just kind of like leave the game plan behind in order to try to get his stats. So that's, of course, very commendable. Definitely hinders a few kind of teams at this level that IGLs, they know that their role is really a thankless one at that. And so they will try to just eventually hunt ecos or kills after the round kind of feels over. DickStacy, I don't really see him do that too much. So he kind of jiggles out, moves up short. It is an A exec. Good counter Molotov coming out from his players. And DickStacy, with a weird entry route, I gotta say, he kind of just stares at the truck smoke. Doesn't actually even hard clear the angle towards truck in the one and done. And now he pushes through the bomb site and gets a nice angle onto the bomb and sprays down TB to very low HP. He does pick up this kill eventually as he's trying to move away. But really, DickStacy, not the guy to watch for entry routes. This guy is looking at smokes as he runs. When there could have been a player right here, crouched, DickStacy doesn't really clear that. He kind of just goes around the corner right here. Really should be hard clearing this angle as opposed to just looking at a smoke grenade. So just something to note for maybe if DickStacy watches this, maybe he can learn from that. Maybe anyone that watches this and is an entry fragger on Overpass. But again, he's doing the roles that are very thankless and difficult. These aren't... Usually it's easier to be the second guy in than the first guy in. DickStacy felt like he was almost on a suicide mission there, just trying to get the bomb down, and knows he had to clear that spot for his team. He knows he has to look to the right. If a lot of players would have been in his position, they probably would have looked left. And they might have died to the one and done in truck or just gotten no information for their team, but instead he just runs in and is able to get the bomb down, and that allowed them to get the post plant. So DickStacy and his team going for a slightly more passive play here. They called, I think, for a timeout and try to just have a little bit of connector presence, but Bottle Jr. was able to shut him down there, and DickStacy knows he has to go back to get the bomb, knows that it's a possibility that Bottle could have pushed here. A little slow to find the trade. And now he's in a 1v5 situation. Gets the bomb, starts to make some noise. I'm not sure if he... I don't think Bottle knew that Dick was there, so Dick kind of gives up his position by making a sound cue there, and just kind of makes his way towards long now. He still has decent utility, spots out Savage, gets a nice one-tap on him. I think that actually might have been a headshot just through the corner of the wall there, and now throws a smoke into bathrooms, and peeks before Bloons. First is able to take him out. So 6-3 still advantage. Grayhound, they're having a little bit more trouble on this side now. And DickStacy, weird buy, I gotta say. Nade and a flashbang. Little odd that he wouldn't buy a smoke grenade, I think. And I think if they had a front bathroom smoke, this could be a completely different round. But instead, they're mowed down as they try to make their way towards A. But I really don't know why he bought a grenade instead of a flash, or instead of a smoke grenade instead of a hand grenade. I feel like that's kind of a misbuy. If he throws like an early smoke towards front bathroom there, it really would have allowed his team to scale. And you need kind of scaling smokes like that for overpass if you want to get map control, especially on rounds where your weaponry is severely weaker. So Dick's finally able to get the trade there, but does in fact fall. Kind of a little slow to help his teammate, I'd have to say. Was very cautious about it. I think he expected that the CyberZen player would have been supported by someone else, so he kind of wanted to be a little bit more cautious about clearing Fountain. But that does cost his teammate his life, and it costs his team the round. So makes his way up, along with his teammates. We're just kind of on a deco here. They have they're going to get a good amount of money in the upcoming round. They have 14, 19, 24, $2,900. So 4,900 after this one. And now he moves forward with his deagle. Viva barely doesn't spot him there. Almost had a pixel angle to work with. And DickStacy is just going to go for the swing here with TB facing him. And I think that was a double peek. So it's kind of curious to me the way that Grayhound decided to peek this. They had two guys peeking from on top and below. DickStacy was the closer angle. He had a player behind him. This usually can be a nice little double peek, but instead of committing to the fight, as DickStacy should have, he kind of jiggles it. But really, if he just swings with his teammate there, it gives him and his teammate a much better chance to both live, find the kill. If that was a coordinated double peek, maybe it just was so happenstance that him and his teammates swung at that exact same time together, so maybe I'm being a little too critical of him there, but these are little things that Grayhound probably could work on as they try to take map control in similar scenarios in the future. So he's going to be holding pretty passively around Monster. Again, he's letting his teammates Malta and Urcast get positioning towards water, and it's shaping up to be a B play, but he's just going to be holding this angle for quite a while. Smoke vanishes finally, and now Grayhound are ready to go for this one. So he spots out the arm there, tries to move forward, but that smoke sadly just kind of pushes him back, doesn't allow him to move up cleanly, and so he's not able to get the first kill, but his teammates are able to trade it out, and Grayhound finally get another round on the board, with 4 alive at that. So DickStacy puts it on himself to be the entry fragger, and that's it's already hard enough to be the IGL, I gotta tell you. So, to be the IGL and the first in entry fragger, that is just putting a lot of faith into your teammates. So, holds around Fountain and Party or Playground for a while with his teammates. Gonna throw a flash to help his team scale. He really likes this deep one over, and he gets the entry onto Bottle. Can't find the trade onto TB though, kind of a tough shot for him, but yeah, I just couldn't finish that one off, and I think CyberZen are able to close that one out. And off of a TB 4K. So if DickStacy were able to find that one, could have potentially changed the round, but that's just a matter of aim at that point. He could have moved forward to the rock and potentially gotten a better cover for that fight between himself and TB, but he doesn't really react to that as quickly as he could have. CyberZen, again, missing their smoke. I don't think they've hit this a single time this half. And unless they're trying to block off Sterling's angle right here, unless they're really scared of a monster opper or something like that, like there's no I'm sure they're just missing the smoke grenade. The smoke grenade is supposed to land right here. It's supposed to bank off this and then bounce into the monster tunnel. So DickStacy again with his teammates. They had success at B just 2 rounds prior, and they want to go there once again. Sterling's able to find an opening pick. DickStacy just allows his teammates to work at that point, and kind of rule of thumb usually is if you get a pick at a bomb site, it's kind of 1 in fake, 2 in take. They get no picks at the bomb site, yet they still decide to hold the water position, and it gets them in trouble, as now Dexter has fallen at the hands of the CyberZen players, and they're still just holding this position. They have no real map control other than water and outside monster, and really having a tough time getting in this round despite getting that opening pick from Sterling. CyberZen move forward. Weirdly, DickStacy hears them and then presses W. I gotta question some of his mechanical decisions. Unless they were really just timing right there and they were gonna push out, but he heard them a good second or so before that guy started running at him. And this is kind of a bad habit I see with a lot of players, is that they know a player is going to peek them, and so what they want to do is catch the player peeking them by swinging out, because they want to be the one that peeks. It's kind of a very online thing to think that will always work. When you're on LAN, especially as the Asia Minor was played, there's really not that much of a reason to not just hold the angle there. Instead, DickStacy holds W and A, which makes the counter-strafe really difficult for himself, and he dies because of that, and Grayhound loses the round. If that was a pretty free kill, though. So I'd say that's just a poor decision mechanically there for DickStacy there. So first half, though, I would say DickStacy did a pretty good job of his role. 8 kills, 9 deaths. That's not really all too bad at all. And he had the MVP star in 4 of these. I think most of those are from bomb plants, to be honest, though. But really, did a pretty good job as the first entry fragger, and also was the bomb carrier. It's kind of a lot of pressure, though, to be the bomb carrier and the first entry fragger and the IGL on top of that. So DickStacy, gotta commend him. This guy might, in fact, have a big wiener after all. Like, really just not afraid of doing a lot of the hardest roles. So I've been pretty critical of some of his play, but it's really a tough job. He puts a lot on himself, and maybe he could lighten the load by not doing just as much as he does, like entry frag, IGL, and bomb carrier at times, but who knows? Maybe, I mean, it worked for Grayhound. They got to the major, so things maybe to look at in the future. So DickStacy holds the smoke there. Good play from him. Can't find the second any more of headshots though, and falls. So CyberZen are able to take the pistol round. Now we're gonna see a force buy come out from Grayhound. DickStacy is gonna be on a deagle and quite a bit of utility. That was some weird movement. I feel like DickStacy a lot of the time with his movement, it looks really bad because he's probably just looking at radar and just kind of like telling what his team what to do in certain situations. Maybe I'm giving him a little too much credit, but there's really no way anyone playing at this level should not just be able to hit the sandbag jump consistently. So I'm assuming he's just really looking at the radar there. So decides against going for a B play at this point. They could have potentially taken water control, gone for that, given that DickStacy didn't see anyone on his jump spots. But I think because he missed the jump spots enough times, he probably didn't really want to go for that. So instead, they're going to play a little bit of a push and pull around A right now. Because Sterling gets pushed back over there, DickStacy smokes off bathroom, hits a great headshot on the Hertz, and almost gets the kill onto one of those players at long. Now holds the angle against Viva. And just staying alive here is huge for him and his team. Now he has a flashbang that can enable his team to scale with. The great flash actually helps his team get out and allows Urcast to get in a great position. Now he's in a 1v2, and he's against players with pretty low HP. He's trying to get the AK, though, and that might be his undoing. But he instead finds a headshot on the Bottle Jr. Now he spots the shadow of TB and is able to bait him out. And I would have to say that the reason Urcast got as far as he did in this round is because DickStacy did 3 things really well. 1, he hit a great headshot onto the player coming from short. 2, he stayed alive forever in the bank position, so it gave his teammates enough positioning and intel that they had an easier time. And 3, he threw a pretty nice flashbang at the end that enabled Urcast and the other player, I think it might have been Sterling, to actually get out there. So props to DickStacy for being a great team player in that round and enabling Urcast, who also deserves obviously a lot of credit. He's the one at the end of the day that hit the shot. But props to DickStacy there, honestly. So DickStacy kind of plays a support position at B. The flash lineup he has there is to land right in front of the barrel position, which will allow the barrel guy to do is he takes a shot, ducks out, waits for the flash from DickStacy, goes for a repeat. Great pop flash situation for the B players here, and DickStacy going to have, again, a thankless role. When people refer to support players, this is what pretty much you're going to see. This is exactly what you're going to see. Just a guy that is really just playing back, throwing flashbangs to enable his teammates, throwing all the right nades, staying alive when he needs to, and not necessarily having the most impact he could via pure fragging ability, but just stays alive, allows his teammates to get into rotation. Again, right there, he threw a flash that blinded Bottle Jr., and he didn't commit to the peak. Even though I'd say there's probably an 80% chance he would have gotten that kill, he values his life more than that, and values the timings of his teammates' rotations and the crossfires that might emerge later in the round if DickStacy stays alive. Some people might call it playing scared, and to be honest, I don't know many pros that wouldn't have peeked there, but it allows you to stay alive later into the round, and sometimes you favor the engagements later in the round. You don't favor the engagement right then and there. I mean, if you would have wide swung right there to look for that kill, he would have been exposed to short. So maybe DickStacy's playing with not just a big member, but a big brain as well. So, playing another support role here, he's going to be helping out Malta with a flashbang. If Malta gets any contact, that flash is going to land right in front of the barrels. Kind of a little farther, I think, than the one that he would have had at... So, yeah, it lands right over here. This lands a little bit farther than the one at Graffiti. The Graffiti one would probably land, like, right at the barrel base right here. This one just a little farther so that the guy can peek into the monster tunnel. And once again, he has a flash primed and ready, but he's just going to be holding on to this one for a while. He has to eventually rotate. Doesn't use any utility whatsoever, just strafes out, looks for the kills, and that's DickStacy taking it to him. So this is the smoke that CyberZen wanted. And DickStacy misses it also. I actually, when I watched this earlier, I just assumed he would have hit it. And now I feel like I'm making fun of him. When that's not what the goal of that was. I'm not the one throwing it. I'm not the one making him throw that smoke. But, yeah, tries to smoke off Monster. It doesn't work out for him and his team. And now he's actually ready to throw a support flash towards A. What he could do right now is he could flash over the hedge right here. And what this flash does is it pops right towards short. And this could blind anyone in this bathroom area. So I think he was probably calling, asking if his teammates wanted it. But because they're both long, there's no reason for them to have that flash. And that little spam right there, although it's probably not going to accomplish anything, DickStacy's now able to get information from it. Pretty worthwhile, if you ask me. Pretty much guaranteed from the CTs that they're going to have someone over here. But now he knows that there's 2 Ts that are spamming this. That was 2 sets of AK bullets coming out through that wall. And that just gives his team a lot more information. And I'd say information is generally more valuable on the CT side. Knowing where you can stack and where you need to stack is very important. CyberZen missed another Molotov, another grenade, on a very poor fake attempt. Like, pretty much the most obvious fake attempt of all time. They throw nades, they go dead silent, and Malta just pushes Monster. I'm not even sure why DickStacy's even here at this point. He probably thinks that potentially someone was hiding in the smoke this whole time, but really, CyberZen just throwing the most transparent fake I have seen in a professional game in a while. And although it might be a little easier for me to tell because I have x-rays, that was just very blatant. That was like, I've never, like, that seems like something from a pug where they throw nades somewhere and it just goes dead silent and one guy dies and nothing else happens. So yeah, but DickStacy knows that it was a possibility that a player was in that smoke grenade, so that's why he holds it. And again, he's just going to be holding the support flash for his team, and CyberZen, they really take their time with this round and get themselves in position. Dick's a little bit slow there to get the molly out, but it's a pretty good explosion from CyberZen, and nice spray transfer from DickStacy there, getting those 2 headshots, getting the kills that he's supposed to. And I think that's kind of what DickStacy does. He kind of gets the kills that he's supposed to get a lot of the time. He's not really going to come up with any crazy shots a lot of the time. But if people are presenting himself to them, he is quite capable of getting those kills. At least in what I've seen so far from him. So, has the support flash ready once again. Holds this for quite a while. And backs off towards A. Kind of a poor read from his team to rotate. Malta somehow mows them all down with a monster pop flash. And now DickStacy moves back into position. I think comparing Grayhound to a lot of the other teams I've already covered, from Furia to NRG and ENCE, Grayhound, they don't really seem as desperate for information as those teams do on the CT side. I think if they know... I think there's two ways you could read this. One is that Grayhound don't know when they should be getting information, or they don't really read the situations in such a way that they need to push. The second is that they know that CyberZen have pretty bad executes. And when you know the other team has bad executes, there's no real reason to get information in a round. If they can't throw their nades properly anyways, and you can just play around them and just hold your spots pretty standard default way, what you do by getting more and more information around is create risk for your team. And creating risk for your team is just not always necessary. So DickStacy's teammates fall. They're in a 2v3 situation now. So this is kind of one of the moments where you do hope that someone goes for some information. As we can see on the radar, Malta is getting a lot of position in water right now. This is a great spot to be in. And DickStacy is going to make the best play of the game right here, though. So DickStacy, have your eyes peeled, makes a great information play for himself. Malta pushes through water. DickStacy knows that the players on the T side are probably going up towards short A right now, given that Malta's really not getting all too much contact. I think he hears a guy at Monster right now, but knows this is probably going to be an A play. So he checks all the angles, looks around, and catches the perfect timing on the CyberZen players. He's right behind them, has the AUG ready and scoped. He's just going to take the duel and gets not just one, but both of the kills there. And now he knows TB was at B much earlier in the round and plays this duel fabulously as well. Just kind of keeps playing around it, keeps himself alive, knows that TB should be around, and finally goes for the reload, as TB knows he really has to save at this point. Really no way into the round. So, great stuff from DickStacy. Good timing. That is one of the moments when Grayhound went for the information. They usually don't really care for it, it seems like, if they're in a 5v5 position against CyberZen. So he holds the flash once again. Malta gets supported by it, and Malta should be the recipient of those flashes. Doesn't actually commit to the fight, but eventually does kill TB. So now these T's are on the A bomb site. DickStacy kind of gets blind there. Now plays around the truck, is able to get one. And that kill allows his teammates to have a good chance into that round, but I'm pretty sure someone on CyberZen won like a 1v2 clutch. So again, just kind of doing his job. Good rotation. Nothing really spectacular about that. Just plays around the truck. Isolates the angles pretty decently, actually. Would have been nice to see him get the kill on the guy that was kind of dancing around default blind, but the flash came out perfectly for him in order to prevent DickStacy from getting that kill. So Exec comes out. DickStacy throws his own counter Molotov towards short. Knows he has the time for it. Now throws a grenade towards short as well. That was actually a really good lineup. Would have done a bunch of damage if anyone were there. Now he smokes it off. Now throws another support flash. This should help out Urcast, but Urcast peeks right into it. And just keeping his teammates alive. Now playing a pretty nice one-and-done little spot. This can be a pretty tough angle at times, but CyberZen having some trouble getting onto the bomb site. In fact, they really don't decide to commit to that one. And now Grayhound, they are able to read the situation. They rotate off the bomb site, and HZ, though, is in a great spot already. So we'll see if DickStacy seems able to recuperate in time and recover. So he plays around CT. See, hears that the bomb is trying to be planted. Comes out. DickStacy can't find the kill through the smoke, though. And now they are in a 3v2 position. So Bottle Jr. actually on the flank is able to take out Sterling. Now Hurts in the 1v1. Catches DickStacy reloading. The long reload time of the AUG works against him there. And really, I'm not sure why DickStacy didn't commit to that kill on the bomb side. The guy was planning. He had 7 seconds left or something like that. He's more than likely going to stick it. And DickStacy doesn't really commit to try to kill him. He's got to be kind of scratching his head after that one. Kind of beating himself a little bit because that was pretty much the round gifted to them. So DickStacy kind of going with a standard utility set on these kind of half buys. Smoke and a flash with a deagle. It's really kind of a strange buy, but it's not like a terrible one at that. And you can't hit the shot onto TB, so CyberZen are going to be able to get that round, which is their last round of this game. So again, just likes playing this B setup. Grayhound don't really show the most variety on a lot of their setups. Maybe there's more going on at A. I've seen that players at A play long A, bathrooms, and connector, so there's definitely a little bit more variety over there. But really at B, it's more or less the same thing every time, with Malta kind of playing around barrel, DickStacy playing around graffiti, ready to throw support flash, and doesn't throw that one far enough, so our cast actually gets caught out. And now DickStacy, he still has one more flash. I'm interested to see how he would use this. He was wondering how he was going to use it too. Gets caught out in that position with a flashbang out as he wide swings, which is never what you want to do. And tries to throw a flash to help out Malta once again, but still able to clean things up by the end of it. So, one more timeout. Grayhound looking to close out map 1 against CyberZen. While he comes out, he boosts. And notice even from this position, DickStacy has a flash ready. That's pretty nice little setup there. I think a lot of the players on the bottom here in this boost position don't really know what it is that they need to do all the time. And Urcast plays that pretty well. He crouches and looks down so that the player that's in water doesn't actually know that he's up there, and he can be silent about his repeat. Now DickStacy plays off of his teammates so well. Malta playing the wood position, DickStacy playing the barrel. Pretty much a perfect double peak between them, and CyberZen just have too much difficulty getting the entries there that they wanted. DickStacy hunts for the smoke, gets it. Now it's a much more comfortable time holding this angle. Good nade as well, good little bit of damage. Now a ding from an M4 should be enough to kill that Savage player. Something I don't really like about DickStacy's movement right here is that his peaks are really wide. This exposes his whole body in this situation. If there's actually a player there, he's kind of strafing out as wide as he could. And, he's still able to get the shot onto Savage, but gets taken out by TB, as, again, he peeks out pretty wide. Doesn't really even have to do that. One of the rare times where I feel like DickStacy kind of gets antsy in the situation and falls because of it. But that's going to be it for the game. And as we can see here, DickStacy, pretty sure he had 90 ADR. I don't know why the GoTV versus the HLTV thing is different. Good utility damage, though. 174 utility damage and 18 enemies flash. Okay, this guy is definitely your typical support first, shoot later player. And that's what you really want to see from your IGL. There's no... I mean, having an IGL that plays a lot for himself can kind of put his teammates in weird, funky situations, but DickStacy does not put his teammates in situations that I don't think they're comfortable in. He plays the farthest back position at B on CT side in order to make sure that he can help out A or B very quickly. He can get his utility out, throw it, slow down any kind of pushes, and it seems to work out for Grayhound here, as they were able to take out CyberZen in 3 maps and make their way to the major. So that's going to be it for DickStacy Pro Player Analysis. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, leave feedback in the comments below. Going to likely be coming out with condensed Pro Player Analyses coming up in just a minute in the coming days. So hopefully you guys have endured these long ones as much as I've thrown them at you. I know a lot of people like them. Maybe I'll post full demo reviews and condensed ones. I'm not sure how I'm actually going to do it yet, but really appreciate all the support. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, as I'm going to be talking about the major quite a bit on there, games I'm going to be watching, and anything that I think about really Counter-Strike gaming related. And also Twitch, great way to see me as well, because you'll see me play and aim better. Well, I'll aim better than DickStacy. I'm not going to say I'm going to play better than him, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed once again. And as always, being toxic is a choice. I was a little toxic in this review.